Hello and welcome to our webinar series presented by Expert Media Matters, which is a social media marketing consulting company. And we have a good topic today. And basically, Ask the Expert series is a webinar series that we put together to help small business owners and entrepreneurs build, manage, and market their products or services or their business in general online. And the topic, which I think is really top of mind today, is how to create your e-commerce website. Now, this webinar will teach you the elements of an e-commerce website, and the information provided will apply regardless of whether you hired a web designer to build your website or whether you're going to do it yourself. Now, I'm not going to show you how to go online and build your website. That's not what this webinar is about. I'm going to give you information on history of e-commerce and some facts about things that you should know regarding the e-commerce website. So excited that you're all here. I noticed there's some people from not only the United States, from around the world, and welcome from whatever country you're in, and thank you for attending. I know it may be 2 in the morning somewhere around the world, but welcome everybody, and let's go right into it. So a little history behind selling products and services online. Let's go back in time a little. Remember Craigslist and eBay? At the time, they were popular, and that's how you got your products sold, whether it's a brand new product or whether it was a used product. You listed it on Craigslist, and then you put it on eBay. And these sites are really popular today, and it's still in use today. And there's millions of people that are using it. And to the owner of Craigslist and eBay, that's their e-commerce website. That's not yours because you're just using it. And basically, I would consider it, if you're a user and a seller, you're actually going on someone else's e-commerce website. And it's basically a listing site. And I'll give you some other sites which are similar. And there's Angie's List, there's Home Advisor, Thumbtack. They're considered listing websites where you list your product or service on that site. Like if you're a contractor and you're offering drywall repair, you could be listed on Angie's List or Home Advisor. And that's not a true e-commerce website for yourself, but that's considered a listing e-commerce website for those website owners. Okay. Also, there's Etsy, Pinterest, and a bunch of other ones. And just for your information, Etsy is in the process, or they completed buying a fashion resale app called Depop for 1.6 billion. So that just gets to show you how big this whole thing is. And if you're not familiar with Depop, they're actually a fashion seller for millennials, basically. So if you're not a millennial, maybe you haven't heard of Depop, but it's huge. I think it's out of London, England, and with offices in New York. So the fact that Etsy spent money buying that app, you know it's pretty huge. Now, here's a question. Why should you sell online? If you have a business that sells products or offers services, why should you sell online? Well, here's some results from a national survey. Do you want to hear about it? Okay, good. So 35% of the people surveyed said they will shop almost completely online. And this probably has to do with the pandemic. Okay. There was a whole major shift when all these retailers and shops closed. Okay, and people couldn't drive to their shopping center or strip mall or wherever their hardware store is and buy products. Everything was shut down. So there was a major shift toward online. So these businesses that didn't have an e-commerce site and they weren't selling online, they basically had zero income. Okay, so that was a true test of emergency preparedness on behalf of a retailer. All right, 22% of the people surveyed said they would use a mix of online and in-store shopping. 18% of the people said they will primarily shop online, but will go to stores when it's convenient. Now, when is it convenient? It all depends. So, if you add up the percentages, it doesn't add up to 100%. And the rest of the 20 something, 26% people were really not sure what they were going to do. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at the statistics and based on the survey, it shows that there's a trend of people to shop online, and they got used to shopping on Amazon when they couldn't go out because of the pandemic and all these stores were closed. They were forced to shop via their computer and shop online. And that's why Amazon, they were already big, they became even bigger. And it kind of turned into this huge e-commerce site, not only on Amazon, but other companies as well. And if you want your own Amazon, that's what this webinar is kind of an introduction to that kind of scenario. Okay, so you want to build your own Amazon store? Okay, that's fine. So let's talk about how you're going to do that. You already have your own store. Let's say you have a brick and mortar store, or you have a company that you're offering some kind of service. You're a service provider. So do you have a website? Okay, and if you do, is your website an e-commerce site? And if the answer is no, then let's talk about some e-commerce web builder platforms. Website builder platforms. The biggest ones today is called Shopify and BigCommerce. And I'm not going to go into pros and cons of each one. You can go online and go to their website or do a search with comparison and take a look at the pros and the cons. And um, they're different. So you just got to see what's going to fit your application. So I'm not promoting Shopify, but they recently formed a partnership with Google, and that in itself is huge. Thus, their 1.7 million sellers can feature products across any of Google's platforms. The main platform is Google Shopping. So the fact that you have Shopify, which is basically the largest website builder platform hooking up with Google in a partnership, that is huge. Okay, that's not to say you're not going to use BigCommerce or any other website builder, but just check it out and see it. They're all out there, and a lot of companies who offer website builder platforms are now getting into offering the e-commerce type platforms also. So in addition to these two, there's some other ones like Wix Stores, Square Online, Squarespace Network Solutions. There's about at least 20 other website builder platforms that you can go on. Now, the caveat here is that um, be sure that if the website builder company offers a free website, you got to look at the fine print. If you get it for free, what are you paying in hosting? Do you have to get a new domain name, or can you use the same website domain name that you have already? I mean, there's all these fine details that you should be aware of and check it out. And don't just go on one and get attracted because it's like a silver lure and say, okay, I'm going to go on this one and I'll sign up and all that. So don't go use the shiny object syndrome scenario. Check out, do your research, spend days and weeks if you have to, and take notes, and then compare the two. Even call, don't be afraid to call, use the chat, or email them if you have any questions, and make sure you get all your questions answered. I like to actually use the chat feature, or uh, call customer service and talk to a rep and ask them all these hard questions, and they'll be happy to talk to you and get your questions answered. Now, moving right along, let's talk about some important alphabets with respect to an e-commerce website. And alphabet, or alphabet soup, it is basically acronyms. So we'll go through those right now. And the first one is not really pertaining to an e-commerce website per se, but it has to do with e-commerce in general. And it's IMA, which stands for Internet Merchants Association. And what? You never heard of them? Well, they've been around for a while. And guess what? You don't have to pay $1,000 for a silver membership. You select the bronze membership, okay, bronze, and it's free. And you get a lot of information. You can contact them. And I would suggest, especially because it's free, and Martin and I like free, okay? So anytime things are free and we get information back, it's a good thing, right? Sort of like this webinar. This webinar is free, and you get free information, free knowledge, and it doesn't cost you anything. So it's a good thing. So I would recommend signing up and reading their newsletter and trying to get more information about e-commerce and e-commerce merchants and what the association does. They're all over the place, and this is actually in the United States. If you're from a foreign country, try to find a similar association in your country. And I know in Europe there's several that you can belong to. So that's just a tidbit of free information in joining. Now let's talk about actual e-commerce website, and not necessarily the components, but things that are very important, that are acronyms that you need to know. SSL, well, what is that? Secure Sockets Layer. That's what it means. Basically, it's making sure that your site has a secure connection. And the standard technology is basically for keeping an internet connection secure and safeguarding any sensitive data that is being sent between two systems. So in other words, you have an e-commerce site, you have a customer that wants to buy your product. They got to make sure that when they go online and enter in their information, to buy your product, that there's privacy and their information is going to be secure. Their name, their address, their email address, and their credit card or financial information. It's all supposed to be secure. And let's go back to, remember when you type in a domain name to bring up a website, there's an HTTP. Okay, so this SSL, Secure Sockets Layer, is actually the S in the HTTPS. And if you don't remember what it is, it's the HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Now, if you're on a website that just has HTTP, then it's not a secure website. Okay, so just be aware of that. So all e-commerce sites better have the HTTPS, otherwise it's not secure, and people already know that they're not going to go to a site and buy something that's not secure. Okay, let's talk about another acronym, and it's called PSP, which stands for Payment Service Provider. And it's basically a top payment gateway for your e-commerce website. Now, if you ask a kid, what's PSP, they're going to go, oh, that stands for PlayStation Portable, but that's not it. Okay, so it's a little different. So basically, PSP is a payment service provider that offers shops online services for accepting electronic payments by a variety of payment methods, including credit card and bank-based payments, such as debit card, bank transfer, and even today there's uh, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency kind of thing, and that's what's happening. And I kind of stay away from this cryptocurrency on an e-commerce site because nothing has been really substantiated yet. And once I convert my US dollars to cryptocurrency, if anything's wrong, how am I supposed to get a refund? Are they gonna, refund me in cryptocurrency, or what's going on? And to use a bank provided credit card or bank-based supported credit card or a debit card, you can easily file a claim, if you don't get your product or you want a refund. But once it's converted in cryptocurrency, good luck. It's hard to track down. The bank's not going to help you unless it's a cryptocurrency bank, but I don't see any in the US right now. Okay, so here's a question. Can you give me an example of a PSP? Anybody? Okay, that's correct. PayPal. PayPal is like, I think, the popular PSP. And there's others such as PayMill, Stripe. A lot of people are using Stripe now. There's Google Checkout, Amazon Payments, and in the future, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people that are gonna be getting into that. So let's continue on with our acronyms. I only have one more, and it's GDPR. Whoa, what the heck is that? Okay, it means General Data Protection Regulation. And if you have not heard it before, you have your e-commerce site has to follow this. But the history behind this is it's actually a European law. It's not a US law. And basically what it's about is the legal ramifications are that your site has to be secured, and personal data from your customers and clients has to be secured. And this also applies to the United States, although it's a European law. It's not a US law at all, but equivalent of the US regulation, I would say, is the Privacy Act. And the Privacy Act was based on safeguarding users and protecting the users from third parties getting your information. So if I'm a client or a customer and I go to your website, your e-commerce site, and I'm buying a product, a widget from you, I want to be sure that no third party outside of you is going to get my name, email address, and all, because I don't want to get bombarded with offers and all that. More importantly, when I use my credit, debit card, or some kind of financial instrument to buy, I don't want people to have that information as well, like hackers and all that. Okay, so it's very important. This is probably the most important piece of the e-commerce puzzle on your website, along with the other ones. So, what now? What do I do? How do I make my e-commerce website? I have a store and I need to sell online. So my saying is just do it, then promote it. Okay, now let me give you a little backstory. Before the pandemic, these brick and mortar stores were, for the most part, doing pretty good business, whether you're in a shopping center, a strip mall, or standalone. And doesn't matter what kind of product you're selling, you're doing fairly well. Okay, even um, a company that is a service provider and not selling any product, but they're providing a service, they were doing fairly well too. And then the pandemic hit, and guess what? The retail stores all closed, so no one could buy anything. Okay, these retail stores that did not have an e-commerce website, they basically were ready to go out of business. Some actually went bankrupt and went out of business because there was no option. And that's the lesson to learn, that not only should you have a brick and mortar store, if you do have one, you also have to have an e-commerce site so you could sell your products online if your store closed, or if the people didn't want to drive to the store and actually shop there. Okay, you have to have both in order to succeed. So here's some helpful information. Um, our company is Expert Media Matters, and then we're also a resource if you need any help on uh, marketing in general, or e-commerce marketing, or e-commerce website. Let us know, and we can help you. And then there's also, believe it or not, U.S. Business Association of E-commerce. And remember SBA, there's a Small Business Administration Office. Hey, this is sort of like the SBA, but it's specific to e-commerce. And if you have not heard of them, they're out there. And tax dollars are used to fund this office. So if you're in the US, take advantage of them. They're there to help. There's a lot of helpful information that you can get besides from a e-commerce association like the internet merchants. Okay, so let's say that you um, have your website, your e-commerce website. Here's some promotion ideas. And before I get into these individual ones, let's talk about. I'm going to deviate from e-commerce right now and talk about social commerce. Have you guys ever heard of the term social commerce? And do you know what it means, or do you know what the difference is between social commerce and e-commerce? Okay. Um, Let me explain briefly. Social commerce is buying and selling of goods or services directly within a social media platform. So the difference between e-commerce, where it's like Amazon, okay, as opposed to a social media or a social commerce, which is, say, Facebook. So if you buy something through Facebook, which is a social media platform, that's called social commerce. Okay, so question is, um, do consumers actually shop directly on social media platforms? And the answer is yes, they do. Not as much as these platforms want you to, but in the future, there's going to be a lot more activity. So um, people are going to be they're already on, like, let's say, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and a whole bunch. They're going to be able to actually buy stuff directly. And so, do you see a little competition here between an actual e-commerce site and a social commerce site? So there is. So stay tuned, because there's going to be more of that, coming online. So there's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Soon you'll be able to buy directly from LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and almost every social media platform now is looking into somehow being able to sell uh, stuff, goods, products, services on directly on their platform without having to leave Facebook and now going to Amazon. And Google's already into that too, but Google is mainly a search engine. So you're going to have um, availability for people to buy on Google, on a Google platform, on an e-commerce platform like Amazon, or on a social media platform. So it's getting kind of crazy out there. So here are some names of social commerce platforms: Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Shops, Instagram Shops, Pinterest product pins, and then Google has something too. I mean, everybody is getting in the game. It's kind of crazy out there. I mean, if you do a research and try to find out what's out there, I mean, it's just crazy right now. So you want to get in on the crazy action, okay? So let's talk about website promotion ideas. If you have a brick and mortar store, okay, and a lot of people don't use this. I go to the shopping center and I go visit um, a clothing store, okay, which also has a website, an e-commerce site. But then I don't know what it is. Okay, it's probably their name, but I'm not sure. And I look at before I go in the store, I look at their window display and their doors, and it's all glass. And the funny thing is, there's no poster that I call an in-store poster that could be inside the store. It could be posted on a window or on their door that has the name of their e-commerce website. Okay, so that's a website promotion idea for their e-commerce site. And all they need to do is have a nice poster that says, please visit us at www.xyzshops.com. So people know that not only do they go into the store to shop, they can also shop online. The other thing is when you buy something in the store and you get a receipt, okay? Does the receipt have the e-commerce domain name listed? Because that's another marketing tool that you could use, okay? So be sure you do that, and it's easy to program information on a receipt, okay? The other thing is you post on your social media platform. So you constantly put posts on social media promoting your e-commerce site. Or um, if you have a top selling product, you identify that product, take a nice photo or do a video, and post it on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, whatever social media platform that is popular that you want to use. Also, create and use your email lists. And here's part of the problem. When people, before the pandemic, when people were going to the shops, okay, and shopping, or a restaurant, for the most part, these vendors were not keeping track. They didn't keep an email list. So when the pandemic hit, they had nobody to talk to. They had no marketing. The ones that had the list, they were good. They were smart. But if you don't have a list, and then now the pandemic is winding down, and you're ready to open business part-time or full-time, how do people know that you're available? If you had your email list, even if you had 500 people, you use the email list and say, we're open for business again. Come visit us, get a 10% discount on your first purchase, or whatever the marketing idea or promotion is. But can you imagine hundreds and thousands of businesses never bothered to create their own lists, and then they had no communication? Even these restaurants, for example, how many times you go to a restaurant and there's like a fishbowl, enter your business card for free lunch or anything? I put my business card in, not to get a free lunch, to test out what they're going to do with my information. And guess what? I never get a call. So what are these people doing with all these hundreds of business cards? That's valuable, because when I went to the restaurant and I ate there and I liked it, if they contacted me, they would remind me to go there again, or even, say, thank you for um, your business. The next time you come, here's a coupon for a discount or something like that. I mean, there's different things that can be done. So let's talk about some tips here. So we call this the Lucky Seven, and it's the Lucky Seven tips for your e-commerce website. And this is some good stuff here, okay? And we're sharing with you for free. So let's go down the list, 1 through 7. So number 1 is select the right website builder. And if you hired a website designer, they may design your site from scratch using uh, WordPress or using some other uh, builder that they use. Okay, and that's fine, but be sure that you're able to have changes done almost immediately. Okay, because if it's an e-commerce site, things change daily, and you can't have a static site that looks the same, and the product that you offered on your website as your lead product that you offered 9 months ago is still your lead product today. That may not apply. You want to be able to substitute it and make the changes. Okay, so select the right website designer and also the right website builder platform. Number 2, copy key elements of Amazon.com. So go ahead and go look on Amazon, and let's say the sites that are competitive sites to yours that you're going to make, whatever product you're selling or service. Go look at a competitor's e-commerce sites and see what you like, and then that's an idea of what you can use for your own site. So take what works and what doesn't work, or what you think you don't like, then don't use those things. But it's free to go and look at other people's sites, even Amazon. Of course, Amazon's huge and you can get lost. Number 3, make sure your website is secure. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's a given. Number 4, make it easy for customers to pay. If your site is so confusing where they click here to buy, they click on, and all of a sudden they got to fill out this form that looks like a SAT test, they're going to click off. See, so you have to make these steps so easy. They select the product, click the checkout, enter in their information, which shouldn't be their life history. All you need is your name, their name, email, their address that matches the credit card information or however they're paying, and enter in the information on the credit card or their PayPal thing, and click to confirm the purchase. It should be very easy. Okay. Next, follow all governmental regulations, and that's a must. Create a smooth buying experience. Now, you want to imagine that if someone goes to your store and they can't find a product and they get frustrated, or they look and uh, they want to buy a nice shirt and they find the shirt, but it's not in their size or it's not in their color. That's not really a smooth buying experience. Or they have to wait in a long line because there's only one person at the register because they're short-handed. There's all these different, and everybody's different. You don't know how, if they're going to be happy or not, and what their protocol is for their happy buying experience. And then lastly, number 7 is promote, promote, promote. If you have a nice e-commerce website, but nobody knows about it because you don't do any promotion, then what good is it having a nice website? So there's two elements to this. One is creating your e-commerce website, and the next thing is to promote it. The two have to go together. If it doesn't, then um, it doesn't make any sense. And you think Amazon doesn't promote? They promote. They're the largest promoter. And you look at even the boxes they use have their Amazon logo. So they're basically everywhere. So because we're in a good mood today, we want to share with you more Lucky 7 e-commerce tips. So are you guys interested? Yeah, you are, because it's free and you're actually learning good information. So here's some more Lucky 7 tips for your e-commerce website. Number one, mobile optimization is a must. Okay. And what does that mean? That means if I pick up my iPhone and I go online to buy a product and I can only see half of the website and not the whole site, then that means that your e-commerce website is not optimized for mobile use. So whether it is my iPhone, my iPad, or any other mobile device, and I'm not using my desktop, your website should look pretty much the same on a desktop as I'm looking at it through my mobile phone or iPad or any kind of mobile device. Okay, so talk about being frustrated. If I want to buy something and I can't even see the whole website, I'm just going to go to the next website. Okay. And then that company just lost a customer. And then I may never go back there. So sometimes you may only have one shot at buying something. Okay. So number two, keep it simple. No GPS required. Well, what does that mean? No GPS required is that when a client goes on your e-commerce site, your site has to be simple, and they're not going to need a roadmap or a GPS to navigate your e-commerce site to try to find what they need. And that's why we're saying keep it simple, no GPS required. Next, easy navigation and search. If you have your e-commerce set up, your website set up, the navigation should be very easy, and you should have a search feature if you have numerous products. If you're only selling 5 or 10 products, then you don't need to worry about a search. But if you have 200 products, you want to have a search feature so someone can go up to the search bar, type in what they're looking for, because they're not going to go through, you know, 50 pages of stuff to try and find what they're looking for, right? And you might have your search broken down into categories. And I'll give you an example. Amazon, you're searching for a book to buy or music. You can actually click on and type in the type of music or book you're reading. So let's say you want to read a romance book or a mystery book. You type in mystery book or mystery novel, and then it'll give you the narrowed search. Okay, so that's easier navigation, and it saves the customer a lot of time. Number four, feature your best products first. If you haven't updated your e-commerce site, or if you're making a new one, you don't want to put a whole bunch of products and then your best products that you want to sell are buried somewhere. Okay, so be cognizant of the fact that there's only so much time that the customer has to be on your website. They're not going to go hunting for stuff. Okay. Just like you go to a store. If you go to a store, grocery store, department store, and you have one thing in mind, one product you're going to buy, and you got to go down each aisle trying to look for where the thing is, you get frustrated because you don't have the time. Everybody's in a rush today. So, keep it simple, make it easy. Feature your best products first, because then it's easy to for the customer to buy it. Okay, number 5, use high quality images. I've seen some e-commerce sites where somebody took a picture of whatever it is and the thing's blurry and not clear. I mean, that's to me a turnoff, right? You want to see at least decent quality photos and videos. And everybody knows that these iPhones today and these smartphones, their camera can take pretty good pictures. So there's no excuse for a blurry photo or out of focus or something that, uh, in my mind, it's like, geez, the person could have used their own smartphone, taken a picture and putting it on the site that looks better than the one they have now. Okay. The only time when the uh, photo should be blurry is if you're selling eye drops or you're an eye doctor and you put the blurry photo and say, does your vision look like this? And then it's not clear, right? So that's the only time you should use low quality images or blurred photos. Number 6, feature testimonials and reviews. So in your e-commerce site, you want to make sure that people know that you give good products, you have good products, and you give good service by featuring their testimony or reviews. Don't be scared to ask. And people a lot of times will say, "Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I bought this product and it really works, and I'm willing to say that it's a good product." Okay, so it never hurts to ask. They can always say no, but the more customers you ask, it's a numbers game. The more you're going to get reviews. And of course, if you get a bad review, you don't want to put it on your site. Okay, number 7, um, fast fulfillment and shipping. So, you have all these products. Make sure that your whole um, protocol is going to be fast fulfillment and shipping. You don't want to wait 1 week before you send it out because people are used to using Amazon and getting their box or package in 1 to 2 days. So if you have your e-commerce site and your customer gets your product in 2 weeks, that may not cut it unless you notify them in advance saying, we're sold out now, your order should arrive in 2 to 4 weeks or something. Okay, don't just ignore them because they're going to get upset. So, um, also, I'd like to add a number 8. Okay, make sure that uh, is help ready by contact information. So, in other words, they go to your site, they're stuck. Do you have a, a chat feature, or do you have a contact us information where they click contact us and then it has your phone number and your email? Okay, make sure, because somebody who is frustrated and clicks contact and all of a sudden there's a pop-up thing that you got to fill out your name, your address, your email address, and there's another box says, why are you contacting us or whatever. They're even more frustrated. They're like, come on, I just need to know one simple answer, and there's no phone number here. There's no email. I got to fill out this form. I get frustrated myself. And then I'm like, I don't want to do business with this company. They make it too hard for me to contact them. Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, that's the whole e-commerce website 100 or 101 class for this webinar. And hopefully you enjoyed it. And once again, thank you for attending. And we'll go right into the Q&A and or chat. I mean, if you use the chat feature of the Q&A, that's fine with us. If you want to ask your question live, use the raise hand feature or icon, and we can turn your microphone on. So I'm here. I'm game. I'll answer whatever questions you have, and if I don't know the answer, I'll be sure to find it for you and get back to you. Okay, so let's go right into the Q&A. I'm pretty sure that that's the next slide here. Right. Okay, Martin, are you around?
Hey, Lance, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good.
Good job.
Thank you.
So let's see. We don't have anybody that submitted anything in the chat here, but we have a couple of Q&A questions. Can I shoot them to you?
Yeah, great. Let's go. Do it.
Okay. The first one here is, I already have a regular website that is established. How can I convert that site to an e-commerce website?
That's very interesting. And I'm not sure what kind of business this person has, but normally in general, we advise our customers and clients to use the website that you have, especially if it's already established, and set it up where you have this link on your existing website where people can click on, and then it goes to an e-commerce section of your website, or it goes to an entirely different website. So let's say that you use the website builder and you build your e-commerce site. Basically, that e-commerce website is going to be part of your existing website. So that may work. It depends. If you're looking at going into more e-commerce, then you might um, just take out um, the information that you have in your existing site and replace it with the e-commerce site. So in other words, you keep your same domain name, but all of a sudden when people go in, now it's an e-commerce site rather than your non-e-commerce site. But we advise our clients to just have your existing website and have the e-commerce feature there. And that way you don't have to redo everything, but see what works. And it's not bad to have your regular um, website, and then you have a separate e-commerce site. So basically you have two separate websites, one for general and the other for an e-commerce. So hopefully that answers your question. And if you have any other information you want to share or questions, just let us know here, or you can email us or give us a call.
Good answer there, Lance. The next question that's come up is, says, I currently have a website that features about 80 different products. Ooh, definitely e-commerce, huh? There's very little organization, and I know potential customers are frustrated. What ideas do you have for a better organization and presentation?
Okay, so it sounds like you have a website and then you just have a listing with all these different products that you're selling. I'm not sure what type of products, but it really doesn't matter for this purpose. If you don't have a segregation of your products, for instance, you should have it set up where um, you have kind of like a department store. Okay, so if you go to a department store or a grocery store and you have aisles that have, um, bread, coffee and tea, ice cream, so that just imagine going into a grocery store and there's no aisle signage, and you just got to go down each aisle looking for whatever product you want. Basically, that's an e-commerce site that's like that. It's not segregated. So you got to help the customer. So if you have these different products, okay, segregated into sections of um, what's related to uh, a group of products. Say you go to Home Depot and there's plumbing. Oh, I'm interested in buying an electrical outlet. Okay, then go to electrical section. Oh, but I need I need a bathroom tile. Okay, so you go to the bathroom section. So it's easier to navigate. So the way they have it at Home Depot and grocery stores, you you don't need even to talk to anybody if you don't have any specific questions. You just look at the signage and go find what you need, right? Um, so consider your site making it like a department store or Home Depot where you have to have groups of products featured, and in a search function, you have to have that kind of general term, and so many products fall under that. Another example would be um, have a group that's your best sellers, or have a group that um, says products under $25, and then you have all your products listed on that. So when they click on products under $25, a new page pops up, and then you have photos of each item, a description, and with the cost. Another section you could do is you could say awesome gifts, and then list it in order of price. And you have to help the customer by giving them ideas. So whatever store you have, let's say you have a brick and mortar store and somebody walked in the door and you're there, oh, hi, welcome. How can I help you? And they say, well, I'm interested in buying this widget here. Okay, then you take them to the widget section and show them all the different widgets and the different costs, right? And the pricing. So that's how your e-commerce site has to be. It has to be easy for somebody to navigate, and otherwise they get all confused. They click on and they go through pages and pages of stuff and they can't find what they need, and they go, you know what, forget it, I don't have time for this, and then you may lose them. And there's a lot of people, and there's a history of this through surveys, that a lot of people have abandoned shopping carts in e-commerce. And what that means is they went on the e-commerce website, they found what they wanted, and they loaded in their shopping cart, but they never completed the purchase for whatever reason. They changed their mind, or their credit card didn't work, or whatever. So um, I think people may have gotten frustrated because it took so long to fill out the form, and they may have just left. So just be aware, be cognizant of that. You want a streamlined function where someone, within minutes, they identify the product they want. Within minutes, they fill out the form, and boom, the purchase is made and they checked out. That's the kind of experience that you want. So hopefully I answered that question. That was interesting. So thank you.
That's a very good answer, Lance. Yeah, the customer experience is so important these days, and every business owner got to keep that in mind when they're doing their marketing. Yeah. Okay, we get two more questions here. Yeah, here we go. The next one is, do you know who the top e-commerce companies are? I already know Amazon is a top player.
Interesting. Okay, so Martin, do you know?
Do I know who else
Yeah.
is the top ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Amazon is, and you mentioned, how many other biggies? Yeah, Shopify,
Okay.
and I guess now Google becomes a big one since they're partnering with Shopify.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy when you have a search engine getting in the business of e-commerce, right? So, I mean, it all makes sense. So many people, millions of people go on Google. You go on Google and you type in something, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So I go on Google and I type in a guitar, right? And next thing I know, something may pop up on the side with companies that sell guitars. And so, like, I could be stuck, right? Oh, man. But that's a good way to sell products. So, in answer to the question, the top United States companies ranked by retail e-commerce sales are, and as you know, Amazon's the top of the list. I mean, they're the leader, way ahead of the pack. I mean, if you're looking at a horse race, you know, that Amazon horse is probably 10 laps or 20 laps ahead of the next horse. Okay, so Amazon is the big leader, as everybody knows. Then there's Walmart. But get this, Walmart actually has brick and mortar stores, right? So the Walmart Corporation is smart because they had the vision to sell online too. So not only are they making sales from their in-store um, stores, they're selling online. So, you know, they get double, triple, quadruple profits. Okay. So next we have eBay, as everybody knows, then Apple, Best Buy, Target, Home Depot, and there's Kroger, Kroger. Okay. And we don't have one store in Hawaii, but I know them as a grocery store, but they morphed into a department store, and they also sell online. I mean, they're a big outlet. And then next, Costco wholesale. Everybody knows Costco. And then number 10 is Wayfair. And I don't know if you heard of Wayfair or not, but they're basically a seller of furniture and home accessories and things like that. So uh, they're they're pretty big, and so people don't shop at the retail store. They go online, the comfort of their own home or office, and they go and buy furniture and stuff for their house. So that's the top 10, and then after that, there's you know, another 10, and then down and so forth. So basically, that answers that question. So that's why I always say, if you really want to know how an e-commerce site works, just go on Amazon and go wade through the different departments and all that, and you get a good idea of how maybe you want to make your e-commerce website, but you know, make it way simpler. Amazon just got too huge, you know. So good question. Okay, did you say we had another one?
Yeah, there's one more in here. You gave a good answer, and I was just going to comment that you'll notice a lot of the top e-commerce sites are actually these sites that our kids, the millennial generation, use. They're heavy e-commerce users. Yeah. So yeah, the fourth question, and it looks like it's probably the final one, is my company does not sell any products, but provides a service cleaning rooftop solar PV panels. Do I really need my own e-commerce site?
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. It seems like this company is not selling any product, like they're not selling solar panels or anything. They're doing cleaning the solar panels. So um, I guess this company already has a website offering their service to clean um, the solar panels. But uh, an idea would be, in answer to the question, no, I don't think you need an e-commerce site if you're not selling any products, but you have a service, right? So you may want to add in an e-commerce feature on your website, and you probably don't have one because I'm not aware of any um, companies that do this, but you should have a e-commerce section where the people can schedule you to go to their property to clean your PV panels, and they could actually, at that same time they schedule it, they can actually pay for it online. So if you set up your site where you got people scheduling and paying online at the same time, then you don't have to have your technicians, when they go out there, have them write a check or somehow go collect the money, or I don't know how you guys do it, but wouldn't that be easy? So wouldn't it be nice to wake up in the morning, click on your website, and oh wow, we got 10 people registered that already paid for a service. So in other words, these customers are prepaying for your service to your website. I think that's the trend. And then um, you can expand later by offering a discount if they agree to uh, have you come back the next year. Then that way you already have an existing clientele for the following year. You don't have to go and hunt for new clients. Yeah. So there's different ways you can do that. But in answer to your question, no, you don't really need a separate e-commerce site because you're not selling products, but add it on to your existing site, the feature where you can accept payments online. That's the deal. Accept payments online, because then you get people prepaying you. And the prepayment idea is a lot better because you got cash flow coming in. You don't have to wait until, let's say you have a homeowner, he scheduled you to come out 3 months from now. Now you got to wait 3 months to get paid. When you actually do the work, he may send a check a month later. So now that's 4 months. See, so the sooner you can crunch that time of when you actually get paid, the better. And I'm always a proponent on prepayment or getting paid as soon as possible. So hopefully that answers that question. If you got any other questions that pop up, let us know by emailing us or giving us a call. Also, if you have any other ideas for webinars in the future pertaining to marketing or social media or even traditional marketing, shoot us an email and let us know, and we'll be happy to consider it for the next webinar series. By the way, the next webinar that we're giving is on, I think it's on Facebook marketing or something. Hey, Martin, do you know? I kind of lost track. I think Martin fell asleep or he got his mute button on.
Oh yeah, I had my mute button on, so you couldn't hear me. I'm trying to check our calendar. Let's see, the next one is,
I think it's on Facebook marketing or something like that.
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. My other machine is slow here today, so it's not giving me my answer right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I mean, um, if you want to know, you just go to askmarketingexperts.now.site, and that's our website for this particular webinar series. And there's a whole bunch of webinars that we have scheduled from now until the end of the year. And also in December, instead of having a webinar, we're having a holiday party. So you're welcome to attend. I think our limit is 50 people. So if you register early, if you're like number 51, sorry, you can't attend because that's the limit. But it'll be fun. So once again, appreciate you attending our webinar, and I look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. And that's all for now. And also the webinars that we already gave, they're on demand. So if you go to our same website and you look for on-demand webinars, you can actually view the previous webinars that we gave before. And then there's also takeaway handouts. There's a PowerPoint, copy of the PowerPoint, and the top 7 tips. You can download those free handouts as well. So once again, on behalf of Expert Media Matters and Martin and Lance, we are going to sign off, and thank you once again for attending. See you later. Bye.
Hey, good job.
Oh, you know what? I clicked the wrong button.
Did you stop the recording? No, you didn't stop.
No, I didn't click that button. Let me see. Now I can't find it.